gentlemen. This is Ian Miller,
What's going on, guys? It's Andrew.
and welcome to another episode of Media Talk with Miller and Smith. Before we start, I'd actually like to thank the number of you who actually viewed our previous episode of our movie pitches. Even though we didn't get any comments, I still think some of you guys actually agree with what we had to say. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching that.
Yes, absolutely. Hope you guys enjoyed it. For anyone who didn't watch it, who's ever gonna watch tonight, just keep watching. Watch last night, see what you think of it.
Yeah,
I mean, but we just want to thank everyone for tuning in every week, getting the viewers that we have. So we really appreciate it.
absolutely. Okay, on to our show.
Oh,
Uh,
he's excited.
huh?
So you're excited.
I'm very excited because as we said in the last episode that we were going to give our thoughts to Creed 3,
Hmm.
seen Creed 3, and I gotta tell you, it was definitely worth the hype.
It was. Yes, Michael B. Jordan did a really great job in his first movie direction. So he really did a great job. I applaud him for that.
Yeah, the camera work was great, very inventive,
Hmm.
and just the imagery alone, again, very well done. Great performances all across the board.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean it um made you feel like you were actually in the fight, as they were fighting.
Yeah.
Well, for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, you could shut off now. Uh, but for anyone who has seen it, you can pretty much just made it look like you were in the fight with him, when they were both fighting each other, and even the fights in general. I mean, overall, a really tremendous job.
Yeah, great acting from Jonathan Majors in particular. I think he's
Mm.
really becoming a household name now.
I think so. Like I said last week, two major franchises, so I'm sure he'll get his shot again in a big franchise or even a bigger movie.
Yeah, so that's just exciting.
So yeah, I mean, it's about this movie a little bit. It's kind of like a revenge story, kind of like a torn friendship kind of movie.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, you could pretty much just see what they were like back then, and then how their whole friendship changed since he got out of prison.
yeah, it was very interesting to see their relationship prior to where they are now. When they were kids.
Hmm.
Uh, Again, we're not gonna spoil anything if you guys haven't seen it yet, but
Yeah.
yeah, you do understand some of what's gonna happen in the movie during these flashbacks, and also discover why Donnie was that way, in the start of this spin-off series.
Hmm.
You start to understand, okay, this is what the character was like at this point, and just to see how much he's progressed, in these three movies is just it's just fantastic, because he had so much weight in the first two movies. He had so much weight, and to see some of that weight taken off his shoulders and him staying on his own 2 feet in this is quite something. And the fact that he's a family man as well.
Yep.
The daughter plays a very big part in it. And she was fantastic as well. Really great performance there.
Yeah. What's it called? They pretty much use sign language for most of the movie, because their daughter is deaf. So I thought that was pretty good to enter to, pretty well. I should say they did a great job entering that into the movie. Um, so you can see like what that side is about also. But I think also like how do you think in this movie, like how do you think Rocky would have felt? If he saw him in this movie.
I would say, but definitely in the first act, sense of pride.
Mhm.
because because he can say, "I helped this young man, never
Mhm.
want another son, and I'm very glad, that he's really going on his own, and he's probably relieved that he's gotten out of the world of boxing at least at the start of the movie,
Yeah.
because he did retire as the heavyweight champion of the world at the start of the movie.
Yeah, he did.
So, and then just really towards the end of the movie, I think he would have definitely supported Donnie, obviously, as he always had in the previous films,
Mhm.
and finally have a sense of, trying to find the right word to describe this. They would understand each other a bit more because they were both on the streets.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that was very clear, even in the first movie. They would understand each other a bit more, and he definitely would have been in his corner. Sylvester was definitely missed in this. He does get a mention in it, just in passing, about talking about the first fight that Rocky had with Creed. So yeah, he was missed, but still, it was very important to say this is Donnie, on his own 2 feet, trying to make his path in this life.
Mhm.
And I had to say there was some very a great performance by Felicia Rashad, which I've been a fan of hers for a while, and she did a stellar job. They all did.
She did. Felicia's a great actress in anything that she's done, so I applaud her for it. Um, so Felicia, if you're watching this, great job.
Uh,
Um,
thank you.
um, I mean, if most of you don't know, um, there has been a conflict with Sylvester and the one of the writers or producers in this movie.
Yeah,
Um, it's kind of mostly why he didn't come back for this one. Um, so like you said, I mean, he was definitely missed. Um, but yeah, it's kind of sad to see like he's been in all these movies and then for him not to come back over disagree like a conflict with one of these producers. I mean, it's
I forget.
I'm trying to find the right word for it.
Yeah, I forget what the dispute was about. I forget. I think it was maybe over the rights of the character. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I don't remember.
Guys, if you know what the dispute was, please comment in the story, because
Yeah.
we would like to know, and also just say if it's over the rights. And we would think it's unfair because
Yeah.
stolen Curry the character. So
Yeah, I mean, I saw that because of this guy, he's never gonna watch Creed 3.
yeah.
Um, so, but he would very much like to do another movie with Michael B. Jordan as long as this guy, the producer guy, is not in the movie
Oh
or
yeah.
not credited at all.
Well, the fact that Stolen really wants to work with Jordan again just shows how much their camaraderie is,
Yeah.
because it works. You can see there's chemistry there, and they do play each other very well. So
Mm.
yes, so it was a shame that he wasn't in this one, and I hope they do work again. I do hope that
I do too.
whether it's a Creed or just another production, I honestly hope they work again.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah. So overall, great movie. Great performances by the cast. Great job by Michael B. Jordan. So if you haven't seen it, it's in theaters now. You you won't regret it. Trust me. It's worth seeing.
Yeah, I will say it was interesting hearing the audience's reaction, because when we saw Creed 2 in the movies,
Hmm.
we're at the final fight scene,
Hmm.
it's Creed against Drago. The audience was just quite something, because it's like they were really watching a boxing match, and a lot of them were
Yeah.
applauding, yelling Creed, and a lot of people got up and applauded during the end fight, but we didn't see that this time around.
We maybe had like maybe one or two claps at most, but that's really it. I mean, you didn't have anyone get up and scream and yell and anything. So
Yeah,
kind of a disappointment on that one on that front.
yeah, but other than that, enjoyable movie. So again, go see it. Okay. Um, this has been an interesting update this past week. It has to do with the production of Daredevil Born Again, the
Hmm.
Disney Plus series, which apparently has actually gone in production this past week.
Hmm. Yeah. They did release a cast list for Daredevil, and great cast. Um, so and then there was a big name that was added to the list yesterday,
Hmm.
which was the Punisher, played by John Bernthal.
Yeah,
So
it was fantastic seeing him back, and just excitement because you're like, okay, okay, well, now we're getting somewhere good. We're getting something interesting here.
yeah, I mean, now I kind of feel like they're gonna bring the Defenders back in this one movie, but I mean, all they need is Jessica Jones and Iron Fist, so and Luke Cage, obviously.
Yeah, there is, however, also some very bad news, which we were completely shocked about. And for those of you who don't know this, the actors that played Karen Page and Foggy Nelson are not returning to the series.
Hmm. Yeah, that was a little bit of a disappointment. They never said whether they're either going to be recast or not in this movie at all. So we actually don't know for a fact. But they I really like them as Foggy and Karen. I mean, they played a really great, they
Yeah,
played their roles really well in
yeah.
the last Daredevil series.
If you read the comics, guys, the just their performances were just top notch. They were on point, especially the lady playing Karen Page because she's so phenomenal. She's so good.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
a damn shame. It was a damn shame that she's they're not coming back.
I would have liked to have seen where Karen and Matt, would have went like as together as a couple, but
Yeah,
we
uh,
never really did that. So,
yeah. For those of you who read the comics, you know what happens.
as he said mysteriously. Um,
Hardly.
yeah, but I mean, again, I mean, even I think it's going to be a great series overall, even though they won't be in it, which is disappointing. But to have Daredevil, Kingpin, and Punisher in the same series, I mean, uh, that's a A in my book, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, very excited. Really can't wait to see these characters back in this particular version of the universe because we always felt that the Netflix series they kind of mentioned that they were part of the MCU, but not really,
Right.
which is fine with me. Which is fine with me, but because not everything needs to be connected. But
Hmm.
the fact that they're part of this universe this time around is exciting because you want to see Daredevil hang out with some of the other heroes, the other defenders, and of course Spider Man. We want to see him with Spider Man.
Yeah. No, I mean, we would definitely want to see a fight between them. Um, but but as you know, like we have to ask the question: Does Matt? Well, if they ever come into the MCU when are in a movie together, again, I would say, um, it's just the question you have to ask is, does Matt even remember Peter?
Ah,
I mean, that's the question you have to ask. Like, um, when I brought it up last episode, I know I didn't bring it up last time because of the spell and everything, but um, that totally just didn't that crossed my mind. But that's the thing you have to wonder now. Like, does will Matt remember him at all or not? If they ever do a movie together. So I don't know. That's the thing you have to wonder as well.
I don't think he would. Obviously, I don't think because of obvious reasons. But
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see, what happens when Matt, and Peter actually meet up and just see where that relationship goes. Whether he learns Peter's identity again or
Mhm.
whatnot. We don't know.
Yeah. So we'll see. And I actually think before we see Matt back in Daredevil, I believe he's in the Echo series as well before Daredevil.
Yeah, I think so because that comes out first, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been delayed, so I don't know exactly when it'll actually have when it'll come out. But I know that D'Onofrio's in it, and I think Charlie Cox is in it as well.
yeah,
So we'll see what happened to Kingpin after the events of Hawkeye. So
yep. Uh,
this will all lead into Daredevil.
it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Okay. Um, we did talk about that. We were gonna talk about this next topic, and the future episode. We're gonna talk about now. We actually did see this. Is actually the premiere of The Blacklist, which was aired on February 26th.
Yeah, final season. What was your thoughts on the premiere?
It was actually better than I expected. It
Hmm.
actually was because going into the season, did not have high hopes, as as many of you know this,
Yeah.
because of the past season, season 9, because that was very much a lackluster season. It had great moments, don't get me wrong, it did, but it wasn't as strong enough. But this particular episode, you know, really shows that we want to go out on top. We want to go out with a bang. So that's what this first episode really delivered for me personally.
Yeah, that's the same with me. It actually, I watched it with my family the other day.
Mm,
Um, we actually thought it was much better than what we thought it was going to be. And I told them that, you know, I think this season actually is actually going to be better than past seasons because it's the final season. So they just pull out all the stops in the final season. So I guess they can just do what they want, I guess.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
at, yeah.
yeah. It was my same reaction to this as well, but it's also my reaction to Star Trek Picard. That's going on with a bang as well because it's his
Mhm.
last season to the point of all the stops. So I'm glad Blacklist is doing this. But what did you think about some of the storyline in it?
Um, I mean, again, it was the first episode, but the way that it was in that, you know, it was introduced,
Hmm.
I thought it was interesting. And as you saw, whoever watched the finale of last season, you see that at the end of the season that one of Red's enemies was let out of prison and now is trying to hunt him down because I think at the last few minutes of the premiere that there's some truth that Red knows, and they want to hunt him down and try not to for him not to you know let the secret out, I guess.
Yeah, it's very clear that's going to be the ongoing story arc for the season.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the it's gonna be crazy. I think all the way to the end, and you're gonna be like, did this just really happen? So
Yeah.
yeah, uh, the thing is, we only got 12 episodes in total of this last season, so I would enjoy every single moment of it. And then, of course, when you get to the last episode, just try to remember they're trying to end it on a good note.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it was like I said last week. I mean, I loved James. Loved James Spader in the show. It's pretty much one of the reasons why I watched it. Um, so really excited to see what he does to end the show.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean, I know they're most likely not going to bring um Liz back for the final season because obviously she's dead. unless they bring her back in flashbacks or something. But I don't think she'll do that. But
And I hope the guy they don't do a fake out where she's not dead.
well,
Because TV executives have known to do that. You guys know this.
yes.
And a lot of you have been pissed off by some of these fake TV deaths, myself included. So
I mean,
you know.
yeah. I mean, I don't really think they'll do a fake out because you actually saw her get shot and bleed all over the place. So, but obviously they could fake that. But again, I don't think that that's gonna happen. I think she really is dead. But if they do that, then I'm telling you all right now, I will literally go crazy.
You heard it first, folks. You heard it first.
I will literally go on here and go on a rant on the episode if that actually happens. So
Oh, it would be such a beautiful rant. It really would be.
so yeah, so I'm gonna keep tuning in. Hopefully it ends on a good note. And a satisfying ending, I should say. So
Yeah.
the only thing is I hope they don't do like a Sopranos ending. Like if someone tries to kill Red and then they go in and actually they try to kill him and it just blacks out.
Hmm.
So hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
That's just it. We'll find out.
Yeah. So tune in now. It's 2 episodes, I think, already. So we'll
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. We're not gonna be ready. We're not gonna be ready for that. No.
Nope.
Yeah. So there's that. I didn't, like I said, I didn't mention Picard again because I saw episode 3.
Mhm.
For those of you who hadn't watched it, I'm not gonna go into too much details, but you do see some pretty hard stuff in there. Very good acting from Patrick Stewart. Again, stellar. Gates McFadden. That scene together. Again, you haven't seen it yet. Go and watch it. But yeah, I think this is some of the best acting Stewart has done in a while in the series.
Mhm.
It's definitely reminiscent to his performance in Logan, at least some of
Yeah.
it. And he gave a great performance in that. So I'm very excited to see how this series is going to end, and I think we're just going to be in for a good ride. So yeah, episode 4 actually premieres tonight after midnight, which I'll probably watch tomorrow sometime. So go enjoy it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll probably watch it when the whole season ends, and then I'll probably tell you all about it and see what I think of it as well. But I know I have to watch the series, so I have to watch Next Generation.
Yeah, just at least a couple episodes of that, just to
Yeah.
familiarize yourself with the characters and all that. But yeah,
Yeah, so I'll probably take a look at that. Another thing I wanted to bring up, I told you this last weekend that actually Star Trek Discovery is actually ending its show after 5 seasons.
yeah.
For me, I mean, I know I didn't really watch it that much, but what was your take on? Because I know you watched it. What was your take on the last 5 seasons, and how do you feel about it ending?
My take on it was interesting to see the story from the perspective of the first officer, you know,
Mhm.
because typically they just tell the story from the perspective of the captain, but
Yeah,
it's very different. And the character gone through so much, during the first 3 seasons, because first, she was condemned, for revealing the Klingons to the Federation and starting a war, essentially. Then being demoted, imprisoned, and then just coming up to the ranks to first officer in that third in season 3. Then only having to lose that again. Then being promoted to the rank of captain. of the Discovery to try to reunite, the Federation of Planets. It was a whirlwind because you're like, how much more can this character go through? And it the story just impressed me just from the characters, the story itself, the scope and scale of the thing, especially the set design. It was beautiful sets, and this was the series that actually created the spinoff of Strange New Worlds, which was the prequel to the original series, where you
Hmm.
had the adventures of Captain Pike, on the Enterprise 10 years before Kirk ever even walked on it, and you see this version of Pike and this version of Spock, you know. So that was just cool. That was just cool to me, and to have it yet ended to 5 years, it sucks. It does suck because I thought they could probably go maybe 7 years. That was my thought initially because I didn't think they would run out of stories, but 5 years I think would just in hindsight is probably is a good number to go out on, because you
Hmm.
want the audience to leave wanting more, you know, and that's with any story. You want them leaving more. So it's probably for the best that it's at 5, before it becomes before they run out of ideas.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I never really watched it, but like it's kind of like from all these series that you do these shows for so long, you kind of run out of ideas. So the fact, I guess, that it's ending in the fifth season, I guess it's kind of natural. So, um, yeah. So I guess I'm sure you'll watch the last season to see
Yeah,
what goes on. Which I believe that does not premiere till next year. Am I right?
yeah, it's the same thing. Same thing with Star Trek Lower Decks, the animated series. That's probably gonna get. It's gonna be probably premiered towards the end of this year.
Mhm.
But yeah, Discovery does not premiere until next year.
Okay.
Gonna be sad to see some of these Star Trek shows go. Gonna be sad. Be sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you love your Star Trek. Um.
Look, I am not, I'm not ashamed to admit it's a great franchise.
Oh, no, of course. No, absolutely. Um, so tune in, I guess next year. They don't have a date yet, so we'll see on that. Um, and there's one more thing before we end. This happened about a month ago, I think. And we were talking about how, um, we were just talking about, that if you do these shows for so long, they run out of ideas. But one of the shows that I really enjoy is ending after 14 years, which is NCIS Los Angeles,
Yeah,
um, which I think it's time for it to end. I don't know if you've watched this season. Um, it's a lot of seasons.
yeah.
Um, I stuck with it through the whole thing, but because I'm a big NCIS fan. But it had some moments like in the last few seasons that it kind of was leaning towards its end because some of the stories were a little weak in some seasons. So the fact that it's ending now, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm at peace with it. Um, and I heard I heard that the cast was very emotional after their wrap, after they finished filming and at their wrap party. So they're very emotional as well after 14 years. So um,
Because that's definitely half your life, and you've really, the cast and crew really do become a family.
yeah.
So yeah, it's no surprise to me that they're emotional because it's saying goodbye to a job that took up half your life, like I said, and not seeing the people that you work with every day.
Hmm.
That's hard. That's hard. I've definitely been around a few television productions who say, yeah, they're very much a family unit. So it's hard to say goodbye. It really is. And the fact that they got to work with each other for 14 years just shows that they were really passionate about what they were doing and loved who they worked with. So yeah, it's gonna be sad to see them go. I actually have watched the series, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got caught up. I actually started in season 5, so I've been
Okay.
staying with it. So and I loved the crossovers that they had. I thought those were great.
Yeah. They haven't done a lot of crossovers in recent years, but they had actually there was a recent crossover that they did actually was really great. They did a great job on it between the regular NCIS, the show NCIS Los Angeles, and then the new show that's on NCIS Hawaii. So, which is actually pretty good too. But the fact that they didn't the last crossover, which you know was they did a terrific job on it. So I'm glad they were able to get one crossover left in there. So um yeah, so yeah, so most of the cast actually stuck around for 14 years, which I'm really surprised about. Not a lot of cast members stay for 14 years.
Yeah,
So only like a few people left the series. So we'll see what happens for this season, and hopefully it has a satisfying ending because I mean I really hope they do. So
yeah, because a lot of the series finales, which many of you have noticed, a lot of them are not, up to par.
yeah,
Maybe we'll cover that in another episode, maybe. What we
maybe.
think are the top 10 best series finales and maybe top 10 worst finales.
Yeah, maybe we can probably make that a segment too. So
Yeah.
probably do that. But yeah, so sad to see it go, but again, it's most likely it's probably time. So for all you NCIS fans out there, just if you're depressed or well, not depressed, but if you're as satisfied as I am, or pleased that or any feeling that you have, put it in the comments. See, do you think it should have ended earlier? Do you think it's about time that it ended? So just put your comments in there and we'll go over it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be it for us for tonight. I'm Ian Miller,
I'm Andrew Smith.
and this has been Media Talk with Miller and Smith. Have a good night, folks.
Hi guys.
If you'd like to follow us on YouTube, just hit that like button and subscribe.